What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Combat Corporation, your source of combat sports. I'm your host, El the Postmaster Mario, and today I have a gear review on the Ring to Cage C17 Japanese-style training gloves. Alright folks, as always, I'm incredibly excited to bring you yet another gear review. As today I have the very popular Japanese style training gloves by Ring to Cage. Today we have the Ring to Cage C17 2.0 training gloves. And like I said, I did an unboxing of these because these were highly requested on the channel for a long time. A lot of other popular reviewers such as Fit to Box and C Squared have actually reviewed these gloves as well. And I finally said, you know what, Ring to Cage had a small sale a few months ago, and I basically said I'm going to go ahead and buy them. They were like half off, I think, or they had some that were half off or a certain percent off, and I think I wanted getting these for like well, let's see, I bought these for 60, so they, whatever percentage that would be, they go for about 99 to 100, so that would be 40% off. Am I doing the math right? I don't know, I'm not very good at math, but basically these gloves are Ring to Cage's, as they say, self-proclaimed crown jewel of their market. And I do agree, you see a lot of people that use these gloves because they are a winning clone that most people have told me, and that I've seen most people say in reviews and stuff, is dead on to winning. It is the best winning clone there is, period, out there. And I've done shorts about winning clones and why so many people want to copy winning. Basically, winning's incredibly expensive, but it's one of the most popular pairs of training gloves, if not the most popular pair of training gloves for pros around the world. You can see multiple different world champions in boxing, MMA, kickboxing use winning, and they are Japanese style craftsmanship, and they are really the first glove to kind of cement what a Japanese style glove was designed and looked like. And I even did a comparison of how a winning looked compared to these, and it was insane, the details that this glove had, matching winning, all the way down to even the measurement of the grip bar being slightly in more. So I mean, they did a lot of work to really get the best winning clone that they could get. Now there are some other really great winning clones out there that I've tried, such as Superior Boxing, Fight to Finish is another one that I can think of, but in a lot of ways those gloves still kind of do their own thing. But I think this glove was really trying to say you can get a winning for $100 compared to spending upwards of $400. Now there was one cool thing that I wanted to say, which was the most interesting glove description I've ever seen by a website, by a brand. And this is just, you can go on their website and see this. I'll put the link in the description below. This is, any top boxer or MMA fighter would be proud to call these their own, okay? The naysayers, critics, and little barking dogs who doubted that we would be able to pull off such an amazing glove will be silent once they've tried our gloves. So I think the stigma kind of comes back to, you know, Ring to Cage as a brand. I haven't reviewed anything by them. I love Ring to Cage as a brand, you know, but basically a lot of the bags I just put up in the gym were by Ring to Cage. They basically make affordable equipment that's a little cheaper than some other brands out there, or they are off brands. Basically meaning that they have a big Pakistan warehouse that they make all the things on. They might sell it to different brands, and what they don't sell, they basically put their own logo on and sell it for nearly a fraction of the price, is basically the idea. And Ring to Cage has been very popular amongst especially MMA fighters for a very long time. A lot of people I know, like my good friends out in a team in Scotia, New York, about an hour away, Team Jacao, have nothing but Ring to Cage Muay Thai bags, and they love them. I have a Ring to Cage Muay Thai bag that I filled myself. Same thing with a lot of other Ring to Cage heavy bags I just put up in the gym and filled myself, and they were inexpensive. I was able to get literally 5 bags for less than $300. Sure, it was a shell, but I just had to fill them myself. But since I had access to textiles and stuff, that wasn't a big deal. So that's incredible that you're able to do that. And the fact that you can basically get a pair of winnings for $100 is another big plus. That's why people love Ring to Cage as a brand. That's why I've grown to love Ring to Cage as a brand. And I believe that their U.S. warehouse is based out of, is it Raleigh, North Carolina, or South Carolina? Maybe it might be South Carolina too. I don't know. I think it's one of the Carolinas, but I'd like to say it's Raleigh or Charlotte. no, Charlotte, South Carolina. I don't know the geography in the United States. I only know New York because I live in New York. But basically, they are based in one of the Carolinas, which is pretty cool. I want to say North Carolina, and that's where like their business office is, and they have a warehouse where they sell from the United States. So they ship everything from Pakistan over here. But virtually everything you're going to get by Ring to Cage is going to say on it, made in Pakistan. And the other thing that they do, I don't necessarily call them a Title ripoff of the MMA version, because I think Title just does anything and everything, and their stuff sucks compared to the Ring to Cage rather actually being not bad, in my opinion. So, but I know you guys clicked on the video because you want to see the actual review of the glove, so I'm going to go ahead and start that out with talking about the exact model that I got. I got these in the red coloration. They have like 8 different colors, and I'll pull it up just so I don't mess it up. I'll put pictures across the screen as well. But you can get them in black, red, blue, white, marine green, purple, lavender, silver, gold, yellow, and pink. So basically the same colors that you can get winning in, and you can get them in lace-up or Velcro. I went with lace-up because a lot of people really like the lace-ups. I wanted to get Velcro, but so many people wanted me to compare these to winning, and the winning pair I have are lace-up compared to the Velcro that I don't have by winning. Now, the other cool thing about these as well is you can get them in a couple different size options from 12, 14, 16, and 18 ounces. I went with 16, and they fit very similar, if not basically dead on, from the winnings that I have that are 16 ounce as far as size and frame go. So once again, I got them in the red coloration, 16 ounces lace up, but you have a lot of different options when it comes to this glove. Now, when it comes to the look of the glove, like I said, you can see that we have the nice solid red all the way throughout the glove, and you have the white piping going throughout the palm as well. But when we come to the back, you can see the Ring to Cage logo right there, and then once again all the red coming here over to the thumb. It's a nice sweeping Japanese style thumb. The red thumb attachment there, it's red towards the tips of the fingers. It says 16 ounces in white lettering right across the grip bar with some white stitching that's going across. The whole glove does sport white stitching, double line stitching all the way throughout the bottom of the wrist cuff and by the thumb as well. The thumb piping is white, and then the palm piping is also white, and you have white laces that come with the gloves. When you come on the back of the glove here too, you can see that it says Ring to Cage in red around there, though I'm pretty sure their regular logo is more in green. And then you can see some more stitching going throughout there. Now, when I actually made a mistake, I thought the inside liner said Ring to Cage. It does not. It says Dry Max, which is basically their tech that they use on the inside. For one, when you open the lining, you can see that the lining says Dry Max, and then that's your big warning label, basically saying, hey, boxing's dangerous, be careful using these. And that's the idea. And then I want to say there's a tag on the inside. Oh, I just ripped it off on accident, but it says machine number 8, which is interesting. I just realized that. It says machine number 8. I didn't mean to rip that off. If you can see that. Is that zooming in? I can't tell because the light is so blurry, but it says machine number 8. Which is crazy. So now I know what machine it was on, but it should say made in Pakistan. If I pull that back, and it does 16 ounce made. Is that going to rip off too? Yep. Okay. 16 ounce made in Pakistan. I don't even know if you can see that. I apologize if you can't. I'm still working with the new setup, so some things are blurring compared to some others. I like the setup, by the way. Let me know what you think about the setup from the last video that I posted. If you hate it, please let me know. If you like it, also please let me know. But basically, that's the look of the glove. It's basic. It is basically trying to rip the design as much as it can of a winning style glove that we have here. Here's an actual authentic pair of winnings. And you can see that basically you got the logo on the back, virtually in the same exact spot. You got the same stamp on the grip bars as well. Everything about the glove is dead on. So that's pretty cool as far as design. So they got that down pretty good. Now, going into the build of the glove, we can talk about the outer shell being made out of a Pakistani high quality cowhide leather. Now, the thing is, it was weird because in the unboxing video, I flat out said this feels like Pakistan leather. I'm pretty sure everything is that I've ever tried from Ring to Cage has been made in Pakistan. I don't think there's a product they have that's not. But basically, Pakistan leather for me is still a very nice leather, but it's usually a bit more on the thinner side. And it's still thick, when it comes to pulling the hide off the actual glove, you have a lot of really nice leather that's actually hanging off the glove here, which is always good. Means that there's more material for the stitch to actually go through and catch. That way it also creates a barrier for moisture to get into the padding and everything like that. But like I said, Pakistan leather for me is just a touch thinner than what you would get from like the United States, or maybe countries such as Turkey, Italy, Spain, other countries that a lot of people use. Thailand has different type of leather too. Mexico has different type of leather that they'll use. So that's actually a pretty cool thing. But for me, Pakistan leather is still nice. It's just a bit smoother, a bit more brushed out, and it is a little bit thinner. This is what we would call a top grain leather, which is basically when you take all the imperfections on the top of a full grain hide, and that's what you got going on there. So that's pretty cool. You can see that it is natural leather just based off of the nice grain marks that you can actually see. Although, like I said, it is top grain because they shaved all the imperfections off there. Some brands will say they use full grain, which they might if it doesn't have that many imperfections. Maybe they took a little bit of the burrs out of there. But in most cases, top grain is what you're going to use. It's not like a leather coat where you don't care about it looking old, ragged, have the wrinkles in it. You just want it to be warm and look nice and be good leather. In this case, they take all those imperfections off. I know weirdly like a lot of things about leather. Just sit down and do some research, basically. But that's what you got on the entirety of the glove, except for the interior lining. The piping is made out of the same leather and everything else. The padding is what you would get in a lot of other Japanese-style gloves. You have multi-layered, high-density padding, and it is a little bit more squishy than Winning. It doesn't like cradle quite as much. I will say that. Obviously, Winning being such a high quality glove, you can actually see when I go to squish it in, it stops me from pushing it in all the way in the center because they have that one like gel, not gel, they have that one piece of foam that cradles your knuckles right in the middle. And I think they have that in here too, but it's not nearly as firm in the middle. I'm able to just give you an idea, smush this glove into a ball like that, and then it snaps right back, which is not what you would get with Winning. But it does have a very nice retention as far as like the memory foam on the inside of this goes, and that's what I would say it feels like. It feels like a nice durable memory foam, which is nice. So it's just usually what you're going to get with a lot of gloves like these. It's very similar to your Superior Boxing, but even the Superior Boxing padding felt slightly more firm than this, which was more accurate to the Winning. But I do like how it feels, and it's still a very protective foam, especially the way that it's constructed. As you can see that it is shaped just like a Japanese style glove, and that is going to perfectly get you in that nice natural fist and line your knuckles up good. And the nice thing about this is it's probably, if I were to guess, it's like Winning a 3 or 5 layered, multi-layered foam system that you got going on here of the high density foam, meaning that air gets in and out, and it retains memory and has that memory retention, which is always good. And it protects your knuckles very well because of that shape. So I like how that works. And you have that nice padded feel in the back of the wrist as well. And then you also have nice padding in the thumb too. The padding, like I said, is a little bit more soft than a Winning, but like I said, for the price point, you can't really beat that. And it is a little bit more rounded towards the tip, and it is slightly wider, in my opinion, than a Winning, if not just maybe a hair wider. Not too much, but it's very soft all the way throughout the thumb. And like I said here, you can see, once again, the difference in the thumb. I'd say that one curves up a little bit more on the Winning and is a little bit thinner towards the tip compared to this curving in a little bit more towards the fingers. So that is a little bit of a difference that you got going on there. But once again, that soft padding on the back of the wrist, and you have your ridges here. And unlike Winning, not unlike, I was saying unlike before, but just like Winning, it's a little bit firmer down towards here, and you got more of that high density foam. And then you have one piece of like real rigid foam, like EVA foam towards the bottom. Feels like it's rubber almost, and that's just kind of to give your wrist a bit more stability. And the other cool thing about this, it has those tracks, you know, as far as laces go, so you can really get those tracks going really good there, and I do like that. And what's nice about this is when you put your hand on the inside of the glove, your wrist actually rests where the wrist is supposed to be, so when you tie that, it's nice and secure. When you come to the palm, the grip bar, like I said, another great detail that they got down is that the grip bar doesn't even start until you get to this part, which allows you to get a nice natural grip on the outside. Because I don't know if you ever noticed getting a grip in a glove, next time you put your gloves on, notice how your pinky is a little bit more difficult to close if the grip bar is stiff and it doesn't start a quarter of the way into the glove here. That part of your hand just doesn't squeeze nearly as good as these do, in my opinion, especially when you got the thumb. You grip with this part, not so much with back here. But I like how they take that out. The stitching is in very good shape and it has not frayed whatsoever. The piping is very soft around the thumb and the palm, so it doesn't squeeze your hand so much. And you also have a little bit of padding, just like winning, going down the palm and the forearm, which is good to cinch up to your forearm a bit more and also good to block punches. Now when we open this up, the interior lining, like I said, is their Dry Max, which is what they called it. And some people commented that it was kind of like sandpaper. Now, I wouldn't go as far to say it was sandpaper. It feels kind of like a mix between an Everlast interior lining, like their Everdry, and like a nice fuzzy blanket, I guess, or a felt blanket. It's not the softest thing you've ever felt, but it doesn't irritate my skin. And the nice thing is the lace tracks open up really nice, and which was surprising because if you see here compared to winning as well, is that the lace tracks actually only have 1, 2, 3, 4 lace tracks compared to, I believe, 6 that winning has. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, you have 6 here. Like most gloves have 6 tracks, but they only have 4 on this one. But it doesn't make that much of a difference, I notice. It opens up very easily. They're lace and loop friendly as well. And when you put it in, it slides perfectly. And that's the one thing I like about this glove as well. You can't really see it because it's on the inside, but there is a piece of neoprene that it feels like right at the tip of the fingers. And that just kind of gives me a nice softer grip, I guess, which is nice. And I do like how that makes it feel. There's tons of room on the inside of the glove for hand wraps. I can wrap my hands up big with these with fight wraps or my big gel wraps, my winning NG2 knuckle guards, whatever it is you want to use. And like I said, it cinches really nice. The only thing I will say is that this bottom part, since it's so stiff and rigid, comes off my wrist a little bit, so I'm able to kind of get in there. Even if I squeeze this tight, I have every now and again had to like push it down. Not really as much as some other gloves out there, but I have had to push this down occasionally. What I do like is how flexible it is, so I'm really able to get really nice grips when it comes to Muay Thai training. So when they mention MMA gloves, stuff like that, you can use these for big, or MMA fighters using these, you can use these for big glove MMA sparring. Really great grips on the back of the wrist, the neck, everything like that. And the other cool part about it is that they come out of the box feeling really good in shape. This doesn't feel too much different than what it felt like when I took it out of the box, which is good. So it has a nice broken in feel. I can't feel my knuckles at all, which is awesome for knuckle protection. So when I want to hit, I can't really feel the shock. So it does have really nice shock absorption, or at least stop shock to a certain extent, which is really nice. And overall, it's a very comfortable glove. Like I said, I wish it was a little bit tighter on the back of my arm compared to the front, and I do wish that that piece of neoprene in the front wasn't necessarily there, so I can kind of get an easier grip, just like in winnings. But at the end of the day, very comfortable. Let's go into the bag work and come back with my final thoughts. Alright, so when it comes in the bag with the Japanese style training gloves by Ring to Cage, first thing you're going to notice, just like any other Japanese glove, they are very dampening, but I do like that they have a bit of a pop on the bag. They have a really loud crack to them. They feel pretty good on the knuckles as well, and you get a pretty solid feedback. Now, do they feel just like winning? Obviously not, because there are definitely some things that could change to make the glove a little bit better in some directions, but in general, if you're looking for a pair of Japanese style training gloves for $100, you will be hard-pressed to find something much better than this glove. Awesome wrist protection, awesome knuckle protection, very comfortable glove in a lot of ways. I've really enjoyed using them. So when it comes to the look of the Ring to Cage, you can see that nice red popping out at you. And these gloves basically, for me, just scream boxing. You know what I mean? Like, they're very basic in a lot of ways that they look, just like a winning glove would be, and just like a lot of other brands would be as well. I love the classic red that these gloves pop out at you, and then if you see the logo, it's just added. It just screams vintage to me, and I think people will appreciate that when you get punched in the face. Alright folks, so my final verdict for the Ring to Cage C17 2.0 Japanese style training gloves. They are one of the best winning clones I've ever used, and I'd have to say they, for me, tie right there with Superior Boxing. I think the only thing with Superior Boxing is that, you know, some people have said that after shipping and stuff for them, it came to $100. I know the gloves were sent to me, but when I saw the last price for Superior Boxing, the gloves were going for 60 to 70. These are going for 99, 100. The only thing is, I do feel like Ring to Cage being such a big, company, especially in the United States, they probably get to you a little bit faster, because I do not think that Superior Boxing is shipped out of the United States. I could be wrong. I'm not too sure about that. It's been a while since I looked into that. But these gloves for me are really amazing for $100 to be able to say that you can basically get a winning-esque glove. Now, am I going to sit here and tell you that it's as good as winning? No. Not many gloves on the market are as good as winning, and that's why so many people use winning. The only issue is, if you are a basic consumer and you're just training to have fun and stuff like that, and you don't really want a pair of winnings, or maybe you're an up-and-coming pro or amateur that maybe you don't have the money to get a pair of winnings, which, by the way, are going up in price more and more as the days go on, $400 or more, when it comes to those gloves. And that's the thing about those, is that no one really wants to spend that much. Whereas Ring to Cage has kept the price point of $100 with these as long as they've been out. And I don't think they're going to change them that much. You also have a ton of different options. So instead of paying winning an extra $100 to get a nice new color, I see purple winnings go for like $600 and stuff, and you just want to sit there like, why, whatever it might be. Or for gold ones that cost $600-700 compared to getting a gold pair, which is an added 30. So if you want the nice 130, you can also go on and get custom made ones that I don't think go much past 150 to 160. Once again, that's much better than going to winning if you don't want that expensive pair of gloves, just for the namesake for some people, and get a pair of gloves like these. And that's basically the idea behind these gloves. And I think Ring to Cage has succeeded very much in making a glove that is affordable for everybody, that gives you the same qualities of a winning-esque glove. Now, are there some things about this glove that I'm going to tell you right off the bat that I don't like? There's not much I don't like, honestly. There are really not that many negative qualities. I think the biggest one for me is probably the lining. And the reason why I say that is the lining is a little rough. I'm not going to say it's the roughest thing on the planet, because it's not. It doesn't bother me so much. But I do notice after a while, I will feel it a little bit on the back of my wrist, even with hand wraps if I do wear them. I know some people are going to be like, well, what do you mean you don't wear hand wraps? Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Most of the times I do, but sometimes when I'm, doing different things, I don't, and I just, sometimes I just like the feeling of not wearing hand wraps. That's just me personally. I got very strong hands. I don't need the hand wraps all the time. But when I do wear the hand wraps, even still, it does kind of bother the back of my wrist. I notice that the lining towards the tip of the finger sometimes will bunch up, which would never happen to me in a pair of winnings. But once again, you're also talking about a $300+ difference. I'm not going to throw up a big fuss over that, and that's an easy fix. The only other thing really, besides just the lining itself with the hand compartment, is sometimes my fingers do creep out a little bit because of that piece of like neoprene or whatever it is at the very tip of the fingers, or that big chunk of foam, whatever it is there. And I just wish that wasn't there. I personally don't like my fingers being on anything but the material of the leather and the grip bar that's in the glove itself. It's basically like having another grip bar at the tips of your fingers. And maybe that's on purpose, because I do know, and this is something that I got a comment about this like a month ago, some people apparently only put their hands in right below or right above the grip bar, and they use that to punch. Either that, or I've been using these wrong my entire life, but I don't think so. Fingers usually go about there, the tip of your fingers there. But that's still cool. I started punching that way just for fun every now and again. It actually works, which I thought was interesting. So maybe that was the goal behind it. I'm not too sure. But at the end of the day, for me, I don't really have a whole lot to complain about the gloves. For $100 for what you get is pretty good. The only thing I can say to watch out for is, like a lot of other gloves made in Pakistan, they are made of good quality. Pakistan manufacturers do make good quality stuff. I will say though, some of their stuff will fall apart faster than others, and sometimes with Pakistan manufacturers, they're not quite as consistent as some other brands out there. Obviously with winning, you are getting the highest point. They're checked, measured, and everything before they go out. The highest point of Japanese craftsmanship. It's kind of like how Japanese stuff was explained to me by someone that actually ventured over there for martial arts. It's kind of like someone building a house. It's not like, okay, pick up the board, do this. It's step number 1, pick up the nail. Step number 2, pick up the board. Step number 3, place nail. Step number 4, hammer nail, you know, whatever it might be. Oh, I missed the step of picking up the hammer. But it's not like that in a lot of other places. They are 100% more mass producing these than Winning is making theirs. But at the end of the day, this is still a really nice quality glove. Very easy to clean, even for a leather product. I've done not much with these gloves. I haven't even used a leather cleaner on them. Well, leather cleaner, not leather conditioner. I've not used a leather conditioner on them. But I usually just wipe it off with a Lysol wipe. They don't really maintain odor, which is good. That's actually really good. When you smell on the inside, it smells like there's still a brand new pair of gloves. So I do like that Drymax material for that reason, in that these gloves do not stink at all, which is really nice. And they're very easy to clean. And that's also good for beginner to intermediate people, because sometimes they just keep their stuff in their bag and it just rots overnight. And that's never what you want when it comes to these gloves or any type of equipment that you got. But that's basically it for me. The leather feels good. The stitching's in great shape. It feels pretty dead on to a Winning. You know, I gave the Superior Boxings about a 9 or 10 out of 10, depending on what you're looking for. I'm going to give it basically the same score of that 9 out of 10. Because for me, there's not much wrong with the glove. It's very functional. It's going to protect your knuckles very well. It's going to keep your thumb in a nice place. It's going to make your hands safe. It's going to last you a good chunk of time. I can see these lasting you upwards of 2 to 3 years if you take really good care of them. And for me, if I were to like tell you would I prefer these compared to a pair of Power Locks, I'd get these over Power Locks by Everlast, 100%. There are some other gloves out there that I don't think do nearly as good a job for even $60, or some gloves that are in the $200 to $150 range that don't do as good a job as this glove. Like I said, really, I give it the 9 out of 10 just because the lining is a little bit off. I wish the lining was maybe a little bit more smooth. Maybe they use kind of like a poly satin type thing, like a stretch poly satin or a nylon. Maybe that would just feel a little bit not as rough. But I also have to think that the Drymax that they use is very nice to dry out and very nice to maintain like good odor, basically, which is good, or stop bad odor, I should say, and maintain good smells. But that's just my opinion on the glove. I know it's kind of like a pretty short, quick to the point review, just more or less talked about and compared it to Winning a little bit, but that's basically what you're getting, a $100 pair of Winnings to a certain extent. But they are like a lot of other Winning clones out there, but I do think these gloves do a slightly better job. My personal favorite Winning clone still is the Top Boxer Win 1 series, because they do their own spin on it, and I think it just is a little bit better. Even I like those more than I do Winnings in general. But if I were to say, do I like these as much as Winnings? They're not far behind. I would say that if they maybe just did one more fast sprint, they'd be right there, honestly. So that's the thing about big brands like Winning, is that you don't need to spend all the money in the world to have a great pair of boxing gloves. I would put these on any pro in the world, and they would be able to tell the difference between a Winning and these. But for $100, you can get a solid pair of gloves, tons of different options, 12 through 18 ounces, 8 to 10 different colors. You can also get them in lace-up Velcro, and on top of it, you can get custom different models as well. Super cool. I'm a big fan of them, and I hope you will be too if you look into getting these. I think they are definitely worth the buy if you're looking for a nice pair of gloves for that $100 price mark. I think this is a great place to start. But guys, with that said, thank you so much for watching this video, and we're already at 9.1 thousand subscribers. Can't believe it. I can't believe that we are only 900 subscribers away from the big 10K subs, all because of you guys choosing your source for combat sports, the Combat Corporation. So as always, like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Share this with your friends, especially if you have any combat sports friends that are looking for some new equipment. Send them my way. Also, message me on my social medias. I've been trying to get back to everybody as much as I can lately. I love giving the glove therapy or the glove advice as much as I can, and I'm responding to comments on the channel as much as I can. Some of them are just repeats, and I always kind of just copy and paste a response to a different one. I'm getting more and more comments by the day, but I am trying so hard to keep up with it, and I so appreciate all of you for getting me to this point. I started this channel 4 years ago for fun as a senior in college, and I cannot believe where we are now. It's absolutely amazing. So with that said, guys, thank you so much for choosing your source for combat sports. I get hit in the head, folks. Your source for combat sports, the Combat Corporation. I've been your host, Al the Postmaster Tomorrow, and as always, I'll see you on the next episode. Have a great day, everybody.